What's up, guys? So welcome to my channel, first of all, and thank you to everybody who is subscribed. And if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and click the subscribe button. Today I'm here with my husband.
What's happening, y'all?
What's up, honey?
Hey.
Welcome to my channel. He was so nice to do this Q&A with me, because we did get a question when we did our Couples Winning Wednesday, and I promised that I would answer the question, so that's what we are doing now. We're going to answer the question from Mom, Wife, and Christian. She sent us a question, and she wanted to know our roles in the marriage and how we work it out to make the marriage work for us. So we just wanted to say, as Christians, we do believe in the biblical principles of the man being the head of the household, and his role as the priest of the home and the leader of our home. So I feel like those specific roles that are given to us biblically don't change. That's just what it is. And I submit to him as the head of the household, and I am his wife. I'm his helpmeet. And that's the roles that we play out in our home. As far as the things that we do to make our marriage work.
Wait 1 second.
Okay.
Well, one thing that is key is being the head of the household, and your wife being able to be submissive to you is how you carry your role. You know, it's not a dictatorship. It's, you know, it's still teamwork. You make the final decision, but God blesses the union of you and your wife. So there's things that she can see from angles that you're not looking at. So you always got to take in, you know, her thoughts and ideas on certain things, because, you know, it's, you know, God might be speaking to her, and you have to trust the God inside her as well. But you are the head, so you make the final decision. So, you know, it's just, it plays out. You gotta, you know, you gotta watch and respect, you know, the marriage and the relationship, and your position in the marriage and relationship, and not make it a dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that right and you love on them well, you know what I'm saying, they have no reason not to want to submit to what you are, you know, your lead. Submit to your lead is what I'm trying to say. So,
Amen.
lead well.
Amen, honey.
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as making our marriage work, everybody's relationship is different, and there are things that you have to do for your household, specifically tailored to your household. And I feel like as a married couple, we serve each other, and it's about working as a team and figuring out our strengths and weaknesses, which is something that you kind of talk about even before you get married.
Yeah.
So for all of my single ladies and gents, I encourage you guys to take your time and to really talk about a lot of issues before you enter into marriage. It's key. It's very important to know how you guys budget, know how you handle finances, know how you clean, you know, because when you're dating people, sometimes they just clean up because they know that you're coming to their place, but they may not otherwise be a very clean person. So it's like you have to talk about how often you clean up. That lets you know what the person's actually doing. Look in their car and see how it's kept. That says a lot about a person. But you have to really talk a lot of things through, and especially your roles in marriage, because some people have a preconceived notion of what marriage is supposed to look like, and it may not match with what I feel like a marriage should look like, especially if you may be dating a person that came from a single parent home. They didn't see two parents in the home, so they may not understand the roles that clearly. And I know with my husband, he came from a single parent home. His mom was a single parent. He didn't have a father. Like, so he didn't see the roles play out the way that I did because I was raised in a 2-parent home. So it's really something that you have to talk about because
there could be 2 different expectations.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like she, is used to seeing things a certain way. I'm used to seeing things a certain way. So, I'm thinking, okay, well, this is how it's supposed to be. She's thinking, well, this is what I've seen all my life. So, not to say either one is wrong,
It's
but
wrong,
you have to figure out, what works
for
with your
relationship.
dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Because, and a lot of that stuff, man, you got to grow into getting through that, because there wasn't a manual for that.
It wasn't easy.
We just had to, sometimes you got to live through it. You know what I'm saying? And work through those hard times. And,
we talked about it before we got married. We went through a lot of, we went through counseling, and we also did like books together where we had to journal and write down like our daily schedules and all of that stuff. So we talked through it a lot, but when you're actually in it, a lot of little things come out that you didn't necessarily
that
talk
wasn't
about.
in the book. That wasn't in the book. That we ain't talking
And
about
so,
that.
and then you discover even deeper issues sometimes about the person of where certain things came from. Things might pop up and you may be like, why did they do that? But then you may discover other things about them. So it's very important to talk through those things and to know expectations of your roles before you get into the marriage, because there are certain things that I saw my dad do on a consistent basis, but like I said, he didn't have a dad, so I was expecting certain things of him and he didn't even know, because I wasn't even telling him all the time. It's just something that I saw. So
the Lord is my daddy. Amen.
Yes, and by him even marrying me and entering into my life, he also started watching my dad as well. So a lot of things he gleaned and gained from even watching my dad and other mentors that he had. So
shout out to Apostle Thomas H. Vincent. Yes.
So
man's man.
Yes. And my dad's dad died when he was very young. So my dad also grew up without a father. So it's just really important to talk about all of those things before you get married, so you kind of know what's going on. It's just really, really important to talk first. Don't get all over emotional and be in your flesh and having sex and carrying on, because then you have to go backwards and deal with all these issues. It's just very good. I'm just telling single people, it's just very good to talk through it and to really take your time, and really get to know the person that you are going to spend the rest of your life with. Okay? So that's all I have to say about that. But as far as our specific roles and how we make our marriage work, we basically serve each other in the way of, if I know that he's better at things, I let him take the lead on those things. And vice versa. If he knows that I'm better at things, he lets me take the lead on those things. So I feel like every couple has to do that. You have to discuss who's better at what and submit to what you're better at. Now, there are certain things that everybody just doesn't like doing, like cooking, cleaning. Sometimes you don't feel like folding clothes. You don't feel like washing, but somebody has to do it. So sometimes you have to divide up chores, can you do this week and I'll do this, you know what I'm saying? It's really a partnership. And then once kids enter into the picture, it's like that creates a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to rearrange how you do things. And he's out of town a lot with his job, with singing and traveling. And so a lot of times I have to take on things when he's gone, and vice versa. If I'm gone, he has to take on more things. So you just really have to work together as a team and figure out strengths and weaknesses, and how you can even increase your knowledge in certain areas so that you can be more of a help to your spouse.
And I don't know if we talked about that last time, but don't lock yourself into your role when you're deciding, okay, this is my role, this is what I do, and you handle the other thing. There will be times where you might need to bleed off into, something else that you didn't want to be your role. Yes. You know what I mean? But it's all for advancing, you guys as a family and getting through, different circumstances that might come up. So, have your roles, know who does what better, you feel what you feel comfortable in doing, and, use your strengths,
Yes.
as your advantage. And then, sometimes if the other person can't handle it, or not necessarily can't handle it, but if the other person
Sometimes
is not
can.
available, well, they might not be able to handle it, but they might not be available to do because they have to handle something else. Be flexible,
Yes, be flexible, because there are just times when you have to take on more. You just have to do it. And you just got to do what you got to do without complaint, because you know that your spouse would do it for you. Because one thing I hate is to hear spouses complain about stuff that they got to do. And it's like, you're in a marriage. This is what life is. You know what I'm saying? Don't complain about it, because you know that if it were you, if you were in that position, your spouse would do it for you. Because I know that early on I got ill in the marriage. And so there were some days that I couldn't do things. And like, he had to do everything sometimes, including taking care of me. But in the times that he's down, I have to do the same thing for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's really about serving each other, serving your family, and doing it together, and keeping a positive attitude. Even when you're tired and frustrated with things, you just always got to keep a positive attitude, and know that, like I said, your spouse would do it for you, because you never know when you may be down, or when you may get sick, or when something may happen to you. So you want to serve your spouse without complaint. Selflessness. You can't be selfish and be married. That just don't go together.
No, it don't work.
Because it's a constant giving. Isn't that right, babe? It's a constant giving. It's daily. Constant giving. It's a constant giving.
But it's so good when you have a chemistry there where you know that person is going to give you their all. You know what I mean? It makes you even want to give them more and do more for them. So the balance is, it's great when you truly have a sincere foundation, that you love each other, and, you want to do whatever you can to make that person happy, to take care of that person, and then, they'll do the same for you. Then you don't have a whole lot of weird arguments and things like that. And when you do kind of get off into some stupid stuff, you have to come back to, the foundation of your relationship.
But you give just because you're supposed to. You're called to. You're called to serve your marriage. And you can't always look for, well, what are you going to do for me in return? You're called to love on your spouse. You're called to honor and respect them. So, and you're called to love, especially the men. It speaks about that in the Word, that you are to love your wife as Christ loved the church. So he gave himself. He died for the church. So you have to have that same that same drive to love. And wives, yes, you have to love, honor, and respect your husband. But you understand what I'm saying. The principle, just to love, honor, and respect your spouse. You have to respect each other, honor each other, and just keep giving no matter what. Don't always give with, what are you going to do for me? Or take points. Well, I did this for you last week. Or I did this for you twice. That don't matter. It don't matter. Just do nice stuff because you like doing nice stuff. Don't keep a tally.
It'll come back around too.
Yeah, it always comes back around.
Because let me tell you, as a man,
there you go.
I'm sorry, but as a man, when I know with my wife, when she going over the top, taking care of me, if you don't reciprocate that, I don't know. For me, I feel like a sucker. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, like, dang, you feel like a chump. If you don't, outdo her, or, be able to at least, step up to the plate and do something as nice. You know what I mean? Because, it just, I don't know. I guess maybe that's just my
thing. I'm not saying don't ever do anything nice, but I'm just saying the way that you love on somebody is just how you love on them. You know what I'm saying?
We've been on this long point. We gotta go.
We gotta go, y'all.
We keep going on getting other stuff. We'll save this for another video.
We'll talk to you guys.
We run out of battery, out of film. And this is all from one question, but we
love y'all.
We appreciate you guys.
And congratulations on your new baby, Wife, Mom, and Christian. Congratulations. Let us know how the journey is going for you once you have the baby. We love you. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Gang, gang.